Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today for a really special series on the channel that we haven't officially announced this by the way, but me and a very special someone, a very close friend of mine, are doing a base game renovation series where we're going through all of the base game worlds in The Sims 4 and renovating all of the lots, and yes, I mean all of the lots, using only base game. So we haven't officially announced this, but I got given the green light to post this video today. So I'm really excited to be able to share this one with you all. I thought I'd start off small with Rindle Rose, which is in Willow Creek, and I love this little pink house. I really do. It has a lot of character, but for me it just doesn't, there's something really off about it. I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that like the roofing just looks a little bit wacky. The green and the pink, for me, I think it's the tone of the green and the fact that like those windows just look a little bit dated. It just doesn't work. So I've given this house a complete facelift and I've tried to keep it pretty much the same size, pretty much the same shape ish. I have changed the roofing, I've gotten rid of all of the green accents, I've used all of these new base game windows and of course the front door as well, and I've just given it a whole new lease of life. So I really hope you enjoy this renovation, and this is perfect because if you only have base game, this is the perfect house for you to download. Now it's not a starter house because I don't believe this is a starter house when you first load up The Sims 4, so I thought that worked out quite well. I actually ended up turning this into pretty sure it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It's all on 1 story. We kept the really nice pink paneling on the outside because this is, for me, when you think of Rindle Rose in The Sims 4, this is like the paneling that I personally think of. So it was really important for me to keep at least some of the elements of this house to make it look like it's more of a renovation and not something that I've just completely bulldozed and forgotten the concept of. I'm hoping that makes sense, but yeah, again, all base game. I think I'm going to find this challenge a lot easier as I move along the series. Now that the person that I'm doing this collaboration with has already renovated quite a few of the lots, and they've just been able to kind of like do it so quickly. And I think because this was my first lot, it did stump me just a little bit, particularly on the interior, even though, you know, we've had a base game update quite recently where they gave us new counters and worktops, etc. And it's like, okay, I just wanted to try and see what base game can actually offer. Every now and again I'll do a base game only build, and it's really refreshing for me to do that. I know there's a lot of creators that do base game only builds every now and again. I'm assuming for the same reason, just to see what you can actually come up with. But renovations in The Sims 4 are one of my favourite things to do, in all honesty. I don't do them, I was going to say I don't do them very often, but I think this is my second one in the last couple of weeks, so maybe I'm enjoying them more than I thought. But this is the floor plan on the inside, so it's all a single story, as I was explaining at the beginning of the video, and we've got the 2 bedrooms and the one not shared bathroom, but like the family bathroom. We have an open concept kitchen, dining and living space, which I thought was quite nice. And then I do end up just removing a couple of pieces of the landscaping just because it was looking a little bit too overwhelming. And then I added this roof piece onto the main portion of the build, which I think just completely like accentuated the front of the property. And for me, it completely transformed it as well. And I also changed out the windows because like I'd used a combination of these taller windows alongside the shorter windows, and it just didn't fit for me with this particular house, and so I did end up changing those off camera. But then we move on to the interior. The interior is really quite light, bright and breezy. It's quite youthful. It's got a very nice family feel to it, and honestly every now and again I do really quite enjoy doing these more kind of toned down interiors. I think a lot of times I tend to go quite bold with the colours and I have played around with colour with this house, but they're more like soft pastel-y colours, so it's just a nice change of pace for me. And I want to make a really quick disclaimer, because I feel like my voice is just ever so slightly raspy, and it's because I attended a work do last night, and we ended up staying for like the full event, and we were up until like 1:30 this morning, and like the DJ was playing some absolute banging music, and I was just screaming at the top of my lungs, singing along to most of these songs. So when I woke up this morning, obviously my voice is just kind of, it doesn't hurt or anything, I don't have a sore throat, but I was going full pelt. I'd had a couple of drinks, okay, it was a good time. So I just wanted to make that disclaimer, because I think for some people, if they watch me regularly, first of all, thank you very much. But secondly, I think you can tell the difference in my voice when it's just not quite right. So I did just want to make that very quick disclaimer. But yeah, open concept living room and kitchen is something that I don't usually explore with family houses. However, with a house like this, I think it works really well. It just flows. It looks really good. The colours all work together. It means that your Sims have got plenty of space to manoeuvre around and partake in some family activities and such. I had to make sure that all of the colours kind of worked with one another, because obviously it's an open concept space, which again, not something that I'm too comfortable with. I like doing it with apartments, because I think when it comes to apartments, that's quite typical, but when it comes to my family houses, I do like to separate my spaces. So this was just another really nice change of pace for me, so I really enjoyed it. I say this every time I use base game, and I'm going to say it again now. We need some more artwork. Like, I know they've added a couple of bits here and there. Artwork, clocks, wardrobes. Like, we just need a little bit of an update. Beds as well. Like, I could go on and on and on. Okay, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to say there's a few items that we could do with some more of, and I say it every single time I do a base game build, because when I do builds like this, I think it highlights just what we're missing. But I digress, because actually I was able to clutter up this space quite nicely again, because I was kind of getting into the groove of things. I was getting into the flow of it. I did end up finding this a little bit easier just as the renovation went on. And I also really loved adding this. It's such a simple thing, but for me it meant so much to add these little pink throw pillows onto the sofa to kind of match and pay homage to the exterior, like the pink paneling. I just thought that was a really nice touch. I do end up adding quite a lot of kid clutter in here, because this is I don't think I've even explained the family dynamic for this house, but we have two parents. We have either an infant or a what's it got? Infant or a toddler, and then a child sim. So up to 4 Sims can live in this house. I was definitely thinking this is much more of like a family style home. You could actually, if you wanted to, just keep your Sims on this lot and perhaps expand the house. I suppose you could expand the house a little bit outwards, but I would say more upwards. The only thing that this house lacks is some garden space. So if garden space is important for you with your Sims and your style of gameplay, then this might not be the house for you. Or you could potentially move the house onto a different, like slightly bigger lot, so that you could just build from there. If that makes sense. But anyway, the living room, kitchen's done, the bathroom's done. We raced through that bathroom. I actually found it quite easy to put a lot of those items together, which is really nice. And then we move on to the main bedroom here. It's such a good sized bedroom. I moved onto this room and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we can definitely put an infant or a toddler in here. No, it's definitely an infant because it's a crib. Yeah, ignore everything that I'm saying about the toddler part. It's not for a toddler, it is for an infant. But of course, if you wanted to add a toddler bed in here, then I suppose you could. But I think it's more sort of common for co-sleeping to occur around an infant's age rather than a toddler's age. But look, you play this however you would like, but I definitely decorated this for an infant. I really like making infant corners in main bedrooms because you can make it look so cute. And I do wish I have I added a chair in here so that your Sims can like just sit with the infant in their arms? I want to say I did, but we don't have rocking chairs in base game because, like, why would we? I think it would be quite nice to see them introduce items such as rocking chairs to base game, but whether or not that happens, it's probably highly unlikely. at this point, but hey, we can dream, can't we? But yeah, I loved adding all of this infant clutter in here. I think sometimes when I do builds and they're not pack restricted, like if I was doing this and it was a non-pack restricted build, a non-pack restricted build, I would assume that like some of this infant clutter was from a pack such as Growing Together, for example. But I think I often forget exactly what we have with base game. Like this little basket with all the toys sticking out screams Growing Together to me, but I think that was added in a patch that came just before Growing Together was released. And I think Growing Together came out, is it 2 years ago this year? Which is just like, that is so wild to me. Like as if that's nearly 2 years ago that we received that pack. It's such a good pack. I wonder what packs we're going to get this year. I'm very intrigued. I know at the time of me recording this, we've got 3 more kits on the way in, I think tomorrow they're coming out. So I'm likely going to be doing like a base game plus those 3 kits. Well, it's going to be 2 kits because I think the Golden Years one, I don't know whether that's coming with any build buy items. I know it's coming with obviously CAS items, but whether or not it comes with build and buy, I don't know. I'm at least going to be doing base game plus 2 of the kits, so look out for that video. But yeah, anyway, lots of clutter going on in here because it was such a big space. I was able to do that very, very nicely. So that's that room now done, and then we move on to the children's room, which again is a fantastic size, which makes it perfect for gameplay. I went super colourful in here with pinks and purples and blues, and I just really loved putting this together. I think if I were to choose a colour for children's bedrooms, I would go pink. I don't know. I just feel like it's the easiest one to do. What are your thoughts? Would you choose pink? I love doing like combined colours, but I'm a bit of a sucker for pink in real life. I was trying to think of the word to use, but yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for pink in real life, so maybe that has something to do with it. But again, I was really quite surprised with how much clutter I was actually able to fit in here, what we had available. I wanted to make sure that this sim had plenty of activities to do in here, so there's plenty of toys. She's got like this little blow up chair that matches so perfectly with that duvet cover, and then we've got the little unicorn here. We've got the dollhouse, of course. She's got like a little station where she can complete her artwork and things like that. I just think this is so wonderful. Honestly, I absolutely adore this. I love this flowery wallpaper as well, and this new carpet. Oh my goodness, the texture of it, the colours. I'd like to see some more swatches added, to be honest, but the texture of it is so nice, so beautiful. The one thing I did struggle with were like pieces to put on the walls, such as artwork and things like that, but we've already spoken about that in this video, so I'm not going to harp on about it again, because otherwise it's just going to be me complaining. But this is probably a really good time for me to complete and wrap up this video. So if you'd like to download this house, it's available from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description box just below. You can get them from SimFileShare. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. You all take care, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.